Hi there guys, Tom Quayle here. Hope you're all doing very well indeed as ever. First of all, let me apologise for not being around very much over the last few months, both on here on YouTube and generally on social media. 2021, the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022 was a bit of a nightmare for me. There were all sorts of weird things happening in my life, but a lot of those are sorted now. But I've recently been having problems with my hands as well. Some of you guys might have seen on Facebook and Instagram, I've been posting some stuff about my hands. Basically, my third and fourth finger on my left hand and my middle finger on my right hand are not really responding particularly well. They're not really doing what I'm asking them to. There's some weakness in there as well. And a few other symptoms, which I won't go into in this video because that's not what this is about, but I wanted to kind of talk about this a tiny bit at the beginning just so you guys know what's going on. I am working through some non-traditional medical interventions, which some very kind guitar playing friends of mine have helped me with, some of which are having some effect, some of which are not. And if none of those kind of solve the issue, I am going to eventually, I've found a specialist and I will seek some proper medical advice from them, but we'll see how it goes. So with that out of the way, that's the reason I've been a little bit quiet. I'm going to try and do some more posting, but obviously guitar playing is a little frustrating at the moment, but it is what it is. I'm getting older and we all go through these issues. So this video is actually about a new piece of gear that I got recently, which I'm really, really excited about. You guys all have seen this new kind of amp rack setup that I've got here. This has kind of become de rigueur for people doing YouTube now for some strange reason, but this is super cool. I've always wanted this kind of a setup. And the only thing that was missing was the ability for me to record all of these amps through a real cab with real mics, which is not really a problem because I've been using the aux box, I've been using the tube amp expander and the 2 Notes Captor X with really, really great results, but there's nothing quite like miking up a real cab with real mics, and I have some really nice mics here as well that I've acquired over the years, and that's always been the goal. Now recently I've had more space in the house and the ability to kind of do that has suddenly become a reality. So as I recently did a video shoot for John Brown from Monuments, who you guys are probably familiar with. If you're not, just pause this video because this is really important. Pause this video, check out John Brown from Monuments. Check out that guy's right hand. It's absolutely obscene. He's a wonderful chap. We've become really good friends and also an incredible guitar player. The band is absolutely amazing. He recently invited me to record a load of tuition content for his website, riffhard.com. So I went there and I took, as I do with everything that I do that's in any way live or in a studio environment, I'll take the Laney Lionheart, which is basically my favorite amp, has been for many years now as a clean pedal platform. It's amazing. So I took that along. Now we wanted that in the shoot, but we couldn't mic it up in the room. It's just, for obvious reasons, too much spill, so on and so forth. It'd be too loud if we wanted the best tone. So what we did is we hooked this up. We had this in the room, the Lionheart, so you could see it. And you guys can find a link below. You can check out that material, actually. Go and sign up to Riff Hard. You can watch all of my tuition material. There's hours and hours of it available. So we mic'd up the a separate cab, a 2x12 cab in John's ISO booth. He's got this insane studio in Bradford, a few miles away from me. And that cab was a Zilla Fatboy 2x12 loaded with a Celestion Neo Creamback and an 8-ohm Vintage 30. Now, I was utterly blown away by the sound of that cab with that particular amplifier. So we were running the Lionheart like a head, basically a 20-watt head running into that cab. Totally blown away by that sound, and it was mic'd up with a combination of 4 different mics that John had used to record his latest album for Monuments. Totally blown away, and I was so blown away. This is a real genuine thing. Often on YouTube you just see sponsored videos basically. I was so blown away that I phoned up Paul from Zilla Cabs the same day and ordered the exact same cab. So I ordered a Fatboy 2x12 with a Celestion Neo Creamback, which is basically a Creamback with a neodymium speaker in it. Neodymium magnet in it, which makes it lighter, which is great, obviously. Sounds pretty much exactly the same. Great sounding speaker. And that 8-ohm Vintage 30. The reason for the 8-ohm Vintage 30 is it's a slightly less aggressive sounding version of the Vintage 30 than the 16-ohm. I'll leave a link down below to Adam from Hot Pole Studios' comparison of those two speakers, and you can hear how much kind of less high-end and fizz the 8-ohm version has got. Now the cool thing about whenever you order from Zilla, and you can see that with this cab, I'm showing you pictures of this cab, you can order completely custom Tolex, you can order completely custom piping and a completely custom grill cloth. And the build process from Paul was so fast, it was insane. And he was sending me pictures all the way through of that build process, totally and utterly blown away. Now, total full disclosure, as they say, Paul did in the end. I actually was going to pay full price for this cab. I ordered it fully expecting to pay full price for it. There was no deal in the initial instance with this cab. However, Paul did say, well, let's do you a deal, and I won't tell you exactly what the deal was, but basically he did me a really good deal on this cab, and that's why I'm doing this video for him. But I would have done this video anyway and bought that cab at full price. That was the original intention because that's how much I liked the cab itself. Now, the build quality is absolutely fantastic. Every aspect of it looks wonderful. It's a beautiful looking cab. It's the best looking cab I own. You know, it's just a wonderful build. And I've owned some very, very expensive high-end 2x12 cabs in the past, all handmade as this is, and this is right up there with any of those, and it looks fantastic. Blown away by the build quality. Tonally, it just kicks ass. It's unbelievable. It's so, so good. So the way this is set up in my studio, and this is what you're going to hear basically, I'm going to play you a combination of, you know, not a combination, but all these different amps essentially, and let you hear some of the tones. But obviously what I can't do in this room, this is actually my living room that I've converted into my studio space, and I can't have a 2x12 cab with some of these 50 watt amps. The height I've got, basically the loudest is 50 watt, the rest are mostly combinations of 20 watts and lower, but they're still insanely loud. So I cannot mic it up in this room. I couldn't shoot videos with that. So what I've done is the Zilla cab is in the cupboard that sits under the stairs. It's just enough room for it to go in there without causing any kind of tonal issues in there, any kind of comb filtering or whatever. That's then mic'd up in that room with a Royer R121, genuine Royer 121, and an SM57. Okay, quite an old SM57 actually. I've had it for about 20 years. And then I'm running the XLR cables back into this room. There's no patch bay or anything. I'm not that sophisticated. There's two doors in between, so I can play. Just when I play, I can just about hear the cab. That's the Laney Cub, by the way, that you're hearing there, the Cub Super. So that is running via the XLR cables back into my room here, which is running into the Antelope. Now, I can never get the name of this audio interface correct. It's the Orion Studio Synergy Core, which I bought recently. And that is a phenomenal Thunderbolt audio interface, which is running into my PC that you can see over there. And that means that the latency in this room, the round trip latency in Studio One, is about 1.2 milliseconds. So I'm monitoring through Studio One and I've got the effects applied on Studio One and I'm hearing them basically in real time, which means that I can run any of these amps super loud, mic'd up through a proper cab with a Royer 121 and SM57 or any other mics that I want. I can just hop in there and kind of change the mics over whenever I want to. And I've just got the Antelope Audio Edge Duo 2, I think it's called, or Edge Duo microphone. So I'm going to be doing some experimentation with that as well. And that is basically the setup. So it's really, really insane. And this cab sounds wonderful. So what I'm going to do is play you some examples of some of these different amps running through that Zilla 2x12 Fatboy Cab. Again, with a Celestian Neo Creamback and a Vintage 30 8-ohm speaker. And if you've got any questions on Zilla cabs or, you know, the build or any of the gear that's going on, feel free to ask me below. So there we go, guys. There's a bunch of sound examples from this wonderful sounding cab. This has given me a completely different way, a great way to record tones here that's kind of more organic, less of the digital stuff, slightly more organic, and means that I can combine really great mic tone with all the awesome audio DAW effects that are built into Studio One and all the effects that I bought from Arturia and Neural DSP, so on and so forth, all of these different companies. So it's really, really cool, and I'm blown away by this cab. I think the guys at Zilla do a wonderful job. You know, the value proposition as well, especially if you're in the UK for these cabs, is phenomenal. And it sounds great. So very, very happy indeed from both the ordering process, the build time, you know, the sending the pictures through as well, you know, as the build is going along, and just the quality of the product, you know, that's being delivered is the final thing. So really, really fantastic. I'll leave a link down below to Zilla's website. You can check out all of their cabs. They've got a bunch of different cabs available that you can customize to your particular whims, and you know, see what you think. Basically, guys, I think they're absolutely phenomenal. As usual, if you appreciate the videos that I put together here, and I will try to do more as time goes forwards, you can click the links down below and you will find links to my website where you can check out all my lessons on legato, improvisation, harmony, all sorts of things going on there. And of course, hit the like and subscribe buttons below and the bell notification icon to be notified every time I upload a new video. All right, guys, thanks for watching. My name's Tom Quayle, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.